Sega.
Is there a reason why Sega's logo appeared twice? Like once when it was announced, then cleared out, and then replaced itself silently? Also, if you're gonna dive through a portal, you might as well do it spinning wildly. Land feet first, emerge head first, and enter the world of Phantasy Star Online 2, the open beta. Greetings and salutations, folks, and hello, my name is Nick. I am not very experienced with Phantasy Star, to the point in which I have never actually finished a single Phantasy Star game. Not the Master Drive Genesis versions, definitely not the Phantasy Star Online versions. I've never played a Phantasy Star Online game online. The only version of it I've ever really played was on the Dreamcast. I've played Phantasy Star Online 1, but I've never been able to hook up the Dreamcast to any network or internet back in the day. So I've only played Phantasy Star Online single-player mode. Usually to clear out the first map of the area. And that's about it. I've also played a little bit of Phantasy Star Online's DS version, which is surprisingly playable. But then again, when you bring over the gameplay of the Dreamcast Phantasy Star Online, like, the gameplay wasn't exactly that exciting, and that's probably the main reason why I never really finished that version. But I'm not very aware of much of the storyline aspects of it. The only thing that I remember clearly is the idea that, your characters had to leave Earth at some point, and find new planets. That's about it. Welcome to Phantasy Star Online 2. In this game, you'll choose a ship which acts as your server and register your character there. First-time players should select getting started. I'm a first-time player. Looks like I will be getting started. I will be joining Ship 3, Thorn. Player ID name PN17649211169. Just rolls right off the tongue. Select character, support menu. Let us make a character. Where is my character who I've never made?
Oracle. A giant fleet on an interplanetary voyage. Its inception made deep space travel possible.
Wait, Oracle is the name of the entire fleet, or the person that they're talking to?
Now our sphere of activity spans across multiple galaxies.
Is this a figurative sphere of activity or a literal sphere of activity? Because it could easily be both.
To explore the unknown planets it discovers along the way. This force, ARX, explores and surveys alien planets. ARX is comprised of 4 species that belong to Oracle. Humans, natural all-rounders. Newmans, photon manipulators.
Newmans?
Sturdy mechanical beings.
Do they also get upset about the presence of Jerry Seinfeld?
Here in ARX, each species covers for the other's shortcomings and works together. Looks like we've arrived. We're approaching the planet Nevarius. It's uncivilized, with aggressive wildlife. Whatever you do, stay sharp.
I will try my best, whoever I am.
Greetings, ARX recruits. You have done well. You now stand poised to take your first steps into the vast frontier of space. If you're prepared to face the challenge of the unknown, enter your personal data. Then, from all of us, Welcome aboard.
Is this me, but still unmodified? Alright. I can be human. Newmen are highly gifted in photon aptitude. They compensate with... See, it would be nice if the character... If the character screen didn't keep spinning, like... Oh, okay, so are these all versions of human males? Okay. So these are all versions of human males, including this ridiculous one with this giant hat. And then we got versions of human females, and for some reason they decide to load the ones in the back first. Newmans with really dumb cyborg cowboys. Newman female. No cyborg cowboys among the Newman ladies. Cast robots. I did not know you could gender robots, but oh, never mind, you definitely can when you take that approach. Like, you look at these robots and you're like, these are big, these are bulky, with protruding crotch area. I'm not even going to really focus that much on that one. But it's clearly a robot. It could even be a mech of some sort. No, it would be too small for like a... But it's clearly a robot. Then you go one down. And they've taken the, what is the robot character in, the Xenosaga games? The COS approach to designing female robots? And the Dooman. Okay, the guy in the green looks actually kind of cool. He probably will be showing up to a bingo night of some sort, but still, I'm okay with these suits. And they also have nifty suits to go along with themselves as well. Alright, so I'm going to pick... For the purposes of this open beta, I'll pick, Newman? Cast? Have durable mechanical bodies, excel in extended combat, including close quarters combat and firefights. On the other hand, they are inferior in tubes of photon aptitude. Now, let's just start with human female. Let's see, we got Hunter for close quarters, Braver for close and long range combat, Ranger for ranged weapons. Ranged weapons was always a little my go-to for Phantasy Star Online 1. Largely because I could just fire at people from a distance and not have to really participate in combat. Bouncer specializes in close quarters aerial techniques. Force, skilled in photon energy, and Summoner summons pets. I don't know, I'm not too particularly interested in... And do we have different classes for each? Because, like, it said the cast wasn't very good at photons, but there's still a class that uses photon energy. So... Let's make a cast ranger. No. No. Still no. It's better, I suppose. I don't even... Okay, I guess you can kind of see the robot parts sticking out of that one. Like, that's a ninja for some reason. This is like your anime flight officer and, like... The one that stays back on the ship. I'll go with her. Lets you edit in finer detail. Here, you'll create the character you control in-game. The new you about to embark on a journey of galactic proportions. Blah, blah. I'm not really gonna bother with too much of this. Wait, hold on. Let us change the hair to something a little bit more interesting. There we go. Giant ponytail. Possibly too giant. That's more... Oh, jeez. All of these are a lot of ponytail. There we go. Let's just go with that. I was hoping to find the part where I can change those ears so that they're not gigantic. Base body type? I don't know what that's doing. Thin? What is the difference? What does it consider thin and what does it consider shapely? So shapely is big boobs, thin is... This is... Okay, how are thin and chubby somehow both possible at the same time? Wouldn't that be, like, separate? Like, you can be chubby, but not with narrow shoulders. You can be shapely with narrow shoulders, but you can be thin and chubby. Would that essentially be thick? Would that be where the thick girls are at? And then... interesting. Chubby and top heavy. Thin and... What? Shapely and bottom heavy. So you... So you... Wow. So what does that essentially mean? I'll stop right there before I get too ahead of myself. Height, let's make somebody taller. So tall. Okay. Alright, let's go with that. Legs. There we go. Advanced. I'm not even gonna really bother with advanced. Expression test. Like, natural. Customize attire. I'm not really going to bother with that. Select voice.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Are these all... These all sound...
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go with that one. Movement type? Let's go with walk. Alright, that's fine. And we'll name our character... N-L... There we go. Alright, let's actually enter the game at long last. Difficulty for the prologue quests. It will not affect the difficulty of the game beyond the prologue. Interesting. The idea that there is a separate difficulty for its prologue section. Also, I wonder exactly how much of the game is out already, because it's like... Oh, hold on, it said available until April 20th, but I wonder, like, is this a full release? It's like, it calls itself an open beta.
Name's Often. Pleased to meet you, mate.
Why does my cyborg lady
No
have
need to search the
glasses?
room. It's you I'm talking to. Mate is you, mate. Fate's put us together for this mission, so let's make the most of it.
Teleportation coordinates set. All arcs
Oh,
open.
jeez.
Proceed with your mission.
Guess they're all set. Looks like we've got a nice and easy spot for our first mission, eh, mate? Let's just stay nice and chill.
Stay nice and chill is what they do in the Phantasy Star universe. See, this is a gateway ship.
For some reason.
You start flying around in gateway ships, and then suddenly you're on other ships. Bigger ships.
Hey,
And
I'll
your
sound
addiction to
courageous.
ships just
Give it a shot,
doesn't
mate.
stop. Move forward, let's jump in the telepool. Also, is it going to have advertisements on the bottom left corner every time it loads something? But anyway, yeah. Like, it says it's an open beta, and like the open beta starts now, but at the same time, it seems like you can spend money on something. Like, you can pay for like a Founders Edition,
Isn't this a sight?
and there's also a
No
premium
worries, covered
version.
Top to bottom in nothing but green.
But at the very least, regardless of my own confusion as to what is going on here, this is the first Phantasy Star game released in the States for quite a while. So,
Ah, that's right. This is our first taste of actual combat in the...
yes, we will practice the basics. Now I can move. Run.
I am Hilda, the operator.
Oh,
I will begin your certification mission. First,
Okay,
I will check your
Hilda.
mission. Take a look around you.
I will look around myself.
Good. You didn't seem to have any trouble. Next, I will confirm your maneuverability. Move to the specified location. Looks like you have no problem with movement. Next, I will confirm how you jump. You see those blocks in front of you? Jump over them.
Use your ability to jump to clamber over obstacles. Amazing. You're the best.
Good. Okay.
What game
now
was
I'll
that?
confirm how you attack. Teleporting a virtual target.
Oh,
Use
okay.
your equipped weapon to attack it.
Let's see. Destroy with normal attack.
Okay, let's kick some ass.
Is there a way to lock on enemies?
Next,
That's
I'll
what I
confirm
probably
your
want to
photon
know.
arts. Teleporting virtual targets.
Use photon arts finishing moves to destroy virtual target. But that uses up, switch to the back palette. Ah, okay. So there's a... So by holding down... Oop! I got a little bit of dodge move. So by holding down the L trigger, I can access a different set of moves. Alright.
Let's continue by confirming your perfect attack. Destroy the virtual target.
After performing a normal attack or photon arts attack, time your next attack with a red circle that appears.
If you nail a perfect attack, you'll pack way more of a punch than usual.
That is a lot of windows that are
Spiritual
trying
arts
to
and techniques
occupy
are
the
also
screen at one
effective,
time.
So be aggressive with your attacks.
Good. Now don't forget that feeling.
That
Now,
punch!
it's time to
I
commence your
remember that
practical training.
punch!
Proceed.
Oh, so I'm actually going to fight regular people?
Oh, is that a Sylvant? It sure seems like a handful, but...
Although it's kind of interesting that after Phantasy Star Online,
To be friends, mate, it looks like we're in for a brawl.
Phantasy Star 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all kind of like those traditional RPGs. And then after Phantasy Star Online, like, it never really went back to the traditional
Multiple
RPG
enemies have
format.
appeared. Don't forget to dodge their attacks.
Although you could say that is similar to, say, the
Enemy
Warcraft
suppression
series.
confirmed.
Ever since World of Warcraft came out, the entire idea of Warcraft as a strategy game has only kind of carried on as a remaster rather than actual sequel. Like, there was a StarCraft 2, but Blizzard's long-running strategy series has never kind of returned to its roots. I suppose similar to, say, how Phantasy Star has never really returned to its own turn-based RPG. Which would be almost like if Squaresoft, I guess they used to be Squaresoft, Square Enix, took their Final Fantasy series and then decided, you know what, we're just going to do MMOs from now on, after Final Fantasy XI. But then you could also say that Sega hasn't necessarily been very good with the Phantasy Star
While
brand.
we're at it, let's confirm how you heal.
Use the Monomate. Oh, yeah, I remember that item name. To recover, select the sub-palette. And implement the sub-planet with the L.
If your HP reaches 0, you will be incapacitated. Don't forget to heal ASAP. Okay, this completes the certification mission. Proceed to the end.
Excellent. How do I pick this up? How? There we go. I appreciate the giant arrow pointing me. Oh, hello.
Emergency! Code due!
Your objective is to suppress the rock bear. Utilize the skills you've honed to suppress it. Read the enemy's movements and strike its weak point. You'll see an opening after it performs a large attack. Aim for it.
Look for it. Oh my gosh. Why is this screen occupying the spot exactly where the...
You take the lead.
Can you, Alphin, is there a way that your dialogue doesn't just sit directly over the... where the enemy is? Is that its large attack?
The rock bear's weak point is its head. Watch its movements closely and attack its head after it performs a large attack.
That's very nice, but please.
Dodge these attacks. Then we
That-
can hit it while it's down. So
that-
keep dodging, mate.
is this is where the difficulty comes in. If you can't see the enemy, then you can't fight the enemy.
Completed.
The results are superb.
I've got
The way I
30
see it,
points on
you should
Grinder.
have no problem being an ARC's operative. All right, time to make for the collection point so you can come back. Head toward the next area.
Alright. Also, just the way this area is laid out just kind of feels like a more open version of that Phantasy Star Online one. With more fluid movement. Still feels very similar, like this very similar design approach. Which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, because it's been a while since that game came out, and there have been quite a few MMOs in the process. Half of, I'm sure half the battle is trying to maintain the identity of what a game is, while at the same time realizing that times have changed.
What's happening?
Emergency message from General Control to all ARC's operatives. A Code F order has been issued for Nefarious. Dangerous photon levels detected. I repeat, a Code F order has been issued for Nefarious. Spatial corruption has been detected.
Spatial corruption, eh?
You seeing this, mate?
No, because the camera is looking at us.
This is some kind of joke. This law just appeared out of thin air.
False spawn presence confirmed. They're exceeding the tolerable limit. Be advised, all ARC's operatives. This is a top priority order. Neutralize false spawn on site.
Are these wankers real false spawn?
These wankers.
Trying to consume the entire universe.
That's a lot of...
Showing up here of all places. There shouldn't be any on Nefarious.
I'm glad that he's here to provide the necessary exposition.
Man, that was almost too dead on. Good thing I prepared for the worst.
Do you know how you know he's an experienced hunter? Because he's got a scar.
Phew, we're safe.
He's probably at least 22, 23 years old in anime time.
Wait a sec. Are we fighting these things too?
That's what you signed up for when you joined ARCS, isn't it? Your friend there looks ready and raring to go. What's your excuse?
Come on, mate. Fine, I get it. We don't have a heckin' choice in it one way or another, huh?
We don't have a heckin' choice? Is this the censored version?
You're certainly calm for your first rodeo. There's something about you. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to stare. I get the feeling like I've seen you somewhere before. Just can't place where, though. Anyway, think less, act more.
Let's get this show on the road, rookies. Stick with me.
Think Less, Act More is the name of the game. Oh. The day I was waiting for. Prologue, I've been waiting for this day forever. And I have various forest area too. Why hello Xeno, hello Alphin. Oh no, the barrier has has prevented me from regressing to Forest Area 1.
Weapons suit you? You should try various kinds of weapons until you find one you like.
Okay, now I can see where, like, the bonus hit is not just a good, it's not just good for extra punch, but it also allows you to keep shooting faster. Especially when you're surrounded by a whole bunch of goons. Although it doesn't automatically switch targets, which is a little bit odd. Like, once you've defeated an enemy, it just unlocks, and that's it. There's no automatic relock.
The collection point is just ahead. We have to endure a bit longer.
Why did this have to happen right after our certification mission?
I wonder if there's a way to move these dialogue boxes to a point that's not, like, in the center of the screen. Like, maybe over the chat. Ah. So that gets rid of that guy. Oh no, I actually got hit. And there goes the big guy. Not exactly the best arena to be fighting goons in, but that's fine. Also, Alphen, why did bad things have to happen on this planet filled with bad things? Who would have ever expected this?
Emergency. Code. Due.
Stay alive until the time expires.
Dino, I'm going to get the return telepipe ready, so go take care of that huge false spawn.
Roger, Echo. I'll clear them out with a photon blast. Buy me some time, rookies.
Am I locked onto something? Yes, I am. Ah, damn it.
I think I figured out our approach. It has pretty thin legs for such a giant body. So let's try focusing our attacks on one of the legs.
Excellent. I gotta say, at the very least, I'm doing a terrible job dodging these attacks. At the very least, it does a decent job at creating a much faster-paced, action-oriented, real-time approach to an MMO. Like, my more experience with Phantasy Star Online is much slower. Let's dodge that. That. One of these days I'll actually dodge that attack. Oh. No, I'm stunned. There we go.
Completed.
Yeah, I survived. And then something happened. Oh, okay.
Huh, not bad. You held your own. I'm all set here, so let's keep pressing on.
Ah, okay. Just like Final Fantasy. If something doesn't work out, you can just call your summon and he'll do all the work.
Holy shit! Was that a photon blast? Look what it did in just a split second.
It also kind of promises
Standing firm.
your abilities.
Appreciate the help.
I don't know, is that a promise towards abilities you'll get later on? Or is that an ability that's more specific for the class? We're sending in a telepipe? I would imagine that, I suppose that's going to be our exit. When you defeat a boss, a red boss container appears. Attack it to break it and it'll drop items and Meseta. Once in a while, you might even get a rare item. I got some Meseta and a gun! How do I... Kudos? Oh, I can also occupy half of the screen. Fantastic. Let's join an alliance campaign. Yeah, I'm basically just playing the girl at the front of that ad there. Alright. So this isn't that bad. I wonder exactly
Welcome back, everyone.
how much more in depth it gets, but then again, I suppose it also
No injuries?
adds on to like the class types, ability types. Not to mention the enemies that you end up fighting would probably also offer more depth to the experience.
Hey, come on. They had me watching out for him. You think I'd let something happen? Now, for proper introductions. I'm Zeno. The one who never shuts up is Echo.
Pleasure meeting the two of you. Also, do me a favor and ignore everything he says.
Done.
Oh, cheers. The name's Arfin. Pleasure's all ours, love. And this here's my new mate. We're pretty fresh out of training and barely started learning what's what in Arcs, so...
Don't sweat the details, kid. Let the higher-ups worry
It's
about
a good thing Alphen is
stuck
here to
figuring it out
deliver
for
all of the
yourself.
proper exposition.
Those things back there, Fallspawn, they're pretty much Ark's enemy number one. That's about all I can tell you. You're actually kind of lucky you had to face the hard truth about life in Arks right away. Keeps you from holding on to any illusions, at least.
Have a little sympathy, Zeno. These kids just got thrust into the middle of a battlefield. They must be shocked.
Well,
These
sitting
children
around
over
calling on 'em
here.
won't make us not at war with the Fallspawn. The sooner you rip off that bandage, the longer you can survive.
Actually, that gave me an idea in regards to something they could do for an MMO. Is like, imagine if, like an MMO,
Certification mission completed.
your character
That's
could
cause to
actually
celebrate.
age over time. Like, your character always starts off younger, but the longer you actually play said MMO, the older your character actually got in-game. To a limit. Like, eventually you get to a point where you're like, I can't go with you on any of these dungeons because I need my vitamins, and I first have to go to the shop to buy some vitamins to fix my back and pancreas.
If nothing makes
So there's
sense,
limits
you
to
have
exactly how
figure
far
your
that would
teeth
actually
and
go.
all, you'll do
But
just fine. That
it would be an
pain,
interesting
that
way to present
frustration you
character
feel,
progression and
never
time
forget
progression.
it and never give up. If you can handle that, you'll
That
manage.
pain, that frustration you feel, never forget it.
Zeno's got away with words, doesn't he? Until you realize he stole them all wholesale from someone else.
Yeah, he stole them from software.
Thanks, Echo. Just blow everything wide open, why don't ya? Anyway, my mentor's wisdom is my wisdom.
Nice saying. Did you come up with it yourself? And besides, you always do whatever you want, never giving a thought to all my hard work.
Yeah? Is it my fault you're always late?
I think we've got stuff to do elsewhere, so...
Stop it, Zeno! Look, we're finally arriving at the Ark ship. Quit standing there snickering and help with the preparations, rookie!
Why is the prologue subtitle different from the prologue main title? I feel as though some of these mysteries will never receive answers.
Amazing, mate.
Perfect job. Alright. I don't know exactly how far into this game I'm actually going to get, for the purposes of playing it right now. You can return to the Ark ship by accessing the teleporter. But we'll go on a little bit longer. Return to the ship, see what, how actual storylines and quests are handed out. I don't know if I'm necessarily sold on the idea of just playing this game for hours upon hours on end, because there is something about this game that definitely seems older.
Well, now that we're all
Although
back
maybe
on
I'm
the
just
breeze,
criticizing
maybe it's
the
time to take a load off in
the
water.
anime look. Kind of, there's a certain amount of, like, I don't know, it's not the anime look, it's a certain amount of, like, cheapness. Like, this game feels like something that should have come out years ago.
Hold it right there, mister. The report comes first.
Yeah, like I don't know that. Such a pain. Well, rookies, I guess you're on your own now. Can't play babysitter forever. Still, maybe...
Good luck out there.
Okay, I have no idea what dialogue I just skipped.
Or maybe the
What, a
hurricanes
couple
and
of
stuff are just
hurricanes?
unreal. Either way, this looks like the lobby for us Arx operatives. Should be plenty of shop. In any case, I'm going to walk around a bit and take a breather.
Oh, it's because I'm pressing B instead of A. B is skipping more of the dialogue, A does not. You can now invite Alpha in as your partner. And I got a title reward. At the title counter. That's a good place to keep your title rewards. Greetings, Arx. Thank you for joining the PSO2 Open Beta test. You'll be able to receive the closed beta special rewards on March 31st after the maintenance ends. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's the thing about the open beta. Is like, when does it actually end? If it doesn't actually end, and Phantasy Star Online 2 is a free-to-play game anyway, then does that essentially mean that this game is already out?
Basic instruction at ARX. Allow me to give you an overview of our ARX Mission Practical Instruction Program. The purpose of these ARX missions is to offer you a practical way to learn the basics of the organization by completing various tasks. It will all make more sense once we actually get started. I'll open the main menu automatically here for you. Now please select ARX missions from the quest menu.
Okay. Because we need more tutorials. Many tutorials. View an encounter with Zion.
Do you understand how to go about checking out ARC next?
Yes, I do.
Look at how to go and speak with Rebecca here in front of you, and accept the story quest, an encounter with Xion.
With Xion. Okay.
Which quest are you up for?
Actually, hold on. Can I now equip the weapon that I had? Oh my. That is not what I was expecting. See, I was expecting to just go in here and then select an item. Ah, there we go. So you've got your equipment. I can switch that to a Alba rifle, which I believe should be stronger? Yes. There we go.
Which quest are you up for?
I'm up for episode 1 of the Oracle story, an encounter with Xian. So basically, although I think that's how the PSO1 was like on the Dreamcast, where you had to first kind of like acquire a mission before you could actually embark upon it.
Now, there is a discrepancy in the perception of that phrase. Perhaps I am the one who has kept you waiting.
Also, I kind of like her undershirt because it looks like space.
My name is Shion. I am a being who is capable only of observation. I will not interfere with you, nor can I. However, the path you must take, the path you have yet to tread, is more.
Yet observation without action is meaningless.
Therefore, I can
Unless you're just recording history for other people to view upon and act upon said observation.
Gather divergences and bring forth the inevitable. The divergence matrix will aid you in this task.
Those are some thick-rimmed glasses.
I am a being who is only capable of observation. My role is not to guide you. Thus will the divergence matrix show you the way. I pray that the path born of my regret will serve as a beacon to guide you where the compass cannot.
Oh my gosh, the dialogue here is... the path born of my regret.
Forgive me. I droned on without comprehending how difficult it must be to grasp such vague sentiment. I will restructure my thoughts and state them again.
Oh, no, that's fine. It was good the first time.
I bid you go to Navarius. I will not say the reason. I cannot.
Wait, if you're only capable of observation, then how are you also capable of having requests?
I am solely an observer. I can do nothing but observe.
But you also place requests on things to do. The event item will only appear during the Divergence Matrix and Oracle story modes. It cannot be used or operated at will. The appearance of a new Divergence Matrix precedes a significant change in the story. Okay. So, I suppose I know when the big moments are going to happen, is when the Divergence Matrix diverges from its previous matrix. An encounter with Xian. Complete.
Congratulations! You've completed your mission. Once
Thanks.
you finish with a mission, you can then claim the rewards for it. Select ARC's missions from the quest menu to obtain your rewards.
Alright. Clear forest exploration.
And now you have your rewards. That's the basic process for these missions.
Click here to get your rewards. Now you have them.
You will unlock more main missions as you play through the story, and daily and weekly missions will change on a daily and weekly basis.
I'm very thankful she was here to explain that to me. I would not have understood, but
They offer an assortment of different rewards, so be sure to give these new missions a try. That's all then. I look forward to hearing great tales of your endeavors.
I think that's also more of an emphasis on the fact that this game should have been
Welcome
released.
to PSO2. You are about to embark on a grand adventure on the Universal stage, serving as a member of ARCS.
Am I looking at an in-game browser
You
video?
can participate in ARCS missions. That will allow you to unlock new content and receive a variety of rewards. From the main menu, you can access your ARCS missions via the Shortcuts button. The story of PSO2 is revealed through the completion of story quests. However, ARC's missions do not include any content linked to story progression, so you can complete these missions at your own pace.
A wide variety of quests awaits you. Okay.
Hi.
Athen?
Hi.
Alright. Like I said, like, this game feels older than
Later.
it actually is. Alphen has new client orders.
Which quest are you up for?
Nav Rappy capture mission. By choosing start search, blah blah blah. Additions. Wasn't I on a quest to explore the forest? Alright.
Anytime.
I think this is just a fine enough place to call it. Phantasy Star Online 2 definitely seems... There's a little bit of dated qualities to it. Like, it feels like a sequel that we should have received a decade ago. Though, it's not bad. It's interesting. I think, like, it's one of those games that I think would be a lot more exciting if I actually had a bunch of people to fight alongside, rather than just, like, your AI companions. But it's a nifty way to kind of, like, set up the universe. Though, like, the way that the game is structured, it feels like there's a lot of stuff to go through, really, in order to just figure out, like, the fact that it took a moment to figure out even just how to change a weapon. Just, like, looking at the inventory management and being like, equipping armor is fine, but now, like, your weapons and your techniques are all kind of, like, listed under the same sub-menu. But it's interesting. It's good that it's coming out. Will I keep playing it? That I don't know. Especially considering the fact that Doom Eternal comes out in literally, like, 3 days from now. But I suppose the release of Phantasy Star Online 2's open beta is not a bad specific time, considering the number of people that are likely going to be at home in their own personal quarantines. In the meantime, folks, if there's something... is there anything that you would like me to play? If do you have any suggestions for games to play, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.